Sri Ramayana. When Sri Rama heard the most 741 Sri Ramayana. Sri Ramayana. When Sri Rama heard this most tender speech of the Vali, he stroked his head with his hand. I make your body immortal, you may keep up your life, said Vali. Listen, O ocean of mercy, says continue their efforts, the God realization during successive birth, but at the last moment they fail to utter the name of Rama. But he, on the strength of whose name Lord Shankara bestow immortality on all alike, has appeared in visible form before my very eyes. Shall I ever get such a golden opportunity again? He has appeared before my very eyes, whose praises the Vedas ever sings only in the negative terms, and whom the Sikhs are secretly able to perceive in their meditation, even after they have controlled their breath and mind and freed their senses from passion. Knowing me to be the victim of excessive pride, the Lord said to me, preserve your life. But who would be such fool as to insist on cutting down a celestial tree and using it as a fence to protect an acacia tree? Now, my Lord, look upon me with compassion and grant me the boon that I ask. In whatever species of life it may be my fate to be born, I may continue to love Sri Rama, your feet, the son of the mind, Angada by name, is my equal and humility and strength. O bestower of the blessedness, therefore accept him, my master, and holding him by the arm, O Lord of God, and then treat me as your servant. Uh, Page number 740, Sri Ramayana. Ramayana. Sri Ramayana. Stuck. When Sri Rama heard the most tender speech of the Vali, most tender speech, tender means most tender speech of the Vali, 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 most tender speech of the Vali. Tender means tender speech of the tender. Tender means tender. Tender means tender. An offer or invitation to accept formal offers such as takeover bid, an offer or invitation to bid for a project or to accept a formal offer such as takeover bid is called the tender. An offer or invitation to bid for a project or to accept the formal offer such as takeover bid is called the a offer of invitation to bid for a project or to accept a formal offer such as takeover bid is called the tender. Tender means tender means tender means tender. Tender means showing greatness, kindness, and affection is called the tender. Showing gentleness, kindness, and affection. Showing gentleness, kindness, and affection is called the tender. Showing gentleness, kindness, and affection is called the tender. Showing 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 affection is called tender. Showing affection is called the 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 tender. When the Sri Rama, the most tender speech of the Vali, showing affection is called the tender. Showing affection is called the tender. Kindness, showing kindness and affection is called the tender. 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 When Sri Rama heard the most tender speech, heard the most tender, showing kindness and affection is called the tender. Showing kindness and affection is called the tender. Showing kindness and affection is called the tender. Hear means to perceive with the ear sound made by is called the ear. To perceive with the ear the sound made by is called the ear. Perceive with the ear the sound made by is called the ear. Perceive with the ear sound made by is called the ear. Perceive with the ear sound made by is called the ear. Perceive with the ear sound made. Perceive with the ear sound made by skull the ear. Perceive with the ear, sound made by skull the ear. Perceive with the ear, the sound made by skull the ear. To told, be told or informed of skull the ear. Be told or informed of skull the ear. To be told or informed of skull the ear. 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 And ShriRam heard the most tender speech of the Vali. He stroked his head. He stroked his head with his hand. He stroked his head with his hand. He stroked with his head with his hand. He stroked his head with his hand. With his hand. I make your body immortal. You may keep up your life. I make your body immortal. You may keep up your life. I make your body immortal. You may keep up your life. I make your body. You may keep up your life, said Vali. Listen, O ocean of mercy. I make his hands and stroke his hands with his head with his hands. I make your body immortal. You may keep up your body, said Vali. Listen, O ocean of mercy, said continued their efforts for God realization. Effort to God during successive birth, but at the last moment they fail to utter the name Rama. During successive birth, but at the last moment they fail to utter the Rama. But during successive birth, but the last even they fail to during successive birth, but at the last moment they are failed to utter the name Rama. Has appeared in the visible form, um, named Rama, but he on the strength of whom name Lord Shankara bestow immortality. But he one on the strength of whose name Lord Shankara bestow immortality on all alike, has appeared in visible form before my very eyes. Has appeared in visible form before my very eyes. Shall I ever get such a golden opportunity again? Shall I get such a golden opportunity again? Shall I get such a golden opportunity? Shall I get such a golden opportunity again? On a like has appeared in visible form, whose name Lord Shankara bestow immortality. Whose name Lord Shankara bestow immortality on all alike, has appeared in visible form before my very eyes. Shall I ever get such a golden opportunity again? He has appeared before my very eyes, whose praises he has appeared. He has appeared before my very eyes. He has appeared before my very eyes, whose praises the Vedas ever sings only in negative terms, and whose sakes are so scarably appeal to